Hello, in this latest video I want to look at the developments in Z-gauge rolling stock kits that have happened over the last few years. Building kits allows you to build up a much bigger variety of stock than you would if you just ran AZL, MTL and full throttle things. And basically they've come along from the sort of traditional aspects of white metal and etched brass up to the latest 3D printed ones from people like Shapeways. White metal has long been a favourite of the cottage garden manufacturer. Good example here is the 89-foot flat cars originally cast by Alan Curtis in the UK. Very simple casting techniques used at home on a home casting machine. Capable of finer detail is etched brass or etched nickel silver. This is a Freud and Reich bunk car built from a kit. A recent development has been the introduction of laser cut plywood or laser board kits. This is made by Robert Ray, one of the masters of the technique. This represents a New York Central hopper of the sort of 40s, 50s, 60s. Once again seen in two examples laser cut by Robert Ray. The 60-foot centre beam is a glued together laser cut plywood kit. The 56-foot throttle door car is a peel and stick laser board one. And both show the amazing levels of fine detail you can get using this technique. The most exciting development recently has been the introduction of 3D printing, which relies not on mould making or pattern making but the design skills of somebody working in CAD. These are three examples available from Shapeways designed by Stoney Smith, two Diffco side dump hoppers and the traditional classic whale belly cement car. What I want to do in the second part of this video is look at the process from the 3D printed castings coming through your door, processes involved in getting the thing put together and painted to the finished product. What we're going to look at is the classic 70-ton iron ore hopper, the Jenny as it was nicknamed, based around Michigan and that, built in their thousands for carrying iron ore. Tiny little things, only 36 foot long, and these are from a design by a guy called Roy Stevens, and they come as a 6-pack. So here we have 6 wagon bodies, 6 pairs of trucks with the bolster pins, still wet from the printing machine, designed in America, printed in Holland, delivered to the UK in the space of about 4 days. Here we have a HO model made by Walthers. Gives you some idea what it's going to look like when it's finished, painted and lettered, but obviously in Z. Visible under a magnifying glass, you can see where the 3D printing process has left a naturally rough finish as the various layers are built up on top of each other. Compared to most normal kits, we're actually going to think slightly back to front here in that we're going to put the first coat of primer on as a reveal coat at this stage, so we can see as we sand it down what sort of finish we're getting. This ultra frosted detail stuff doesn't show up particularly well to the naked eye to see where the roughness is. While the other cars are drying out from most of the stuff that's come off the printing process, I'm going to degrease this one first and get the residues of the printing process. Old fashioned 35mm film cam, a good dose of naphtha or lighter fluid, put the lid on, give it a good shake. And just leave it to work for a few minutes. So the paint I'm going to use for the reveal coat is made by a firm in the UK called High Coat, and it's an acrylic red primer. Very good covering power, dries very quickly, leaves a nice finish, stinks a bit, but I've been using this for about 30 years now on O gauge and gauge 1 and Z gauge, and it's fantastic. With the trucks painted at the same time as the car body, I fitted these with Uncle Will's full throttle wheels, and they actually seem to roll quite nicely. With the car body now in its reveal coat of primer, you can just about pick up the texture, the roughness on the main side of the hopper body. This is what we're going to rub down next. To sand the body size down, I've made some simple sanding sticks. These are wooden stirrers stroke popsicle sticks from a well-known burger chain, with 320 wet and dry glued on with contact adhesive. The nice thing about this is that you can shape the end to a chisel point or whatever, depending on which sort of nook and cranny you're trying to get into. The most useful thing when you're actually sanding something like this down is the feel of touch. It's easier to feel if it's smooth than to actually try and look at it. Once I'd sanded the sides smooth, I drilled the holes for the bolster pins for the trucks in the bottom. The pins come supplied with the printing anyway. Giving it a top coat of the same high coat red primer, let it harden off quite a bit, and then giving it a coat of high coat clear lacquer for it's ready for putting the water slide decals on. All I've got to do now is decide what colour scheme I'm going to do it in, and then there's just another 11 to go.